Hi, everybody. Dale Pinkert here at TradeGATEHub, along with Michael Venezia, head trader at TradeView Markets. We're powered and sponsored by TradeView. Mike, great to see you,
You
to
too, Coach.
talk
Good
to you.
morning.
It's been a couple weeks. Before we get to equities and stocks, I just want to prep people. I know tomorrow everyone's saying this is the biggest number since in the entire market history, the CPI. Anyway, Mike, remember when we used to think Friday afternoon's money supply was a big deal?
No, like I said, well,
Were you around? Do you?
well, the CPI number, 12 months ago was an excuse to walk Tony the dog.
Yeah.
Now you kidding? Now no one called. Yeah, no, well, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, I think the best structure for fading the dollar, which has had a phenomenal move, and
Yeah, no, it's
you're even hearing it on networks now that how it's going to hurt earnings because of the currency translation for multinationals. But the Aussie had a big breakdown, and we're negating that breakdown, so we're back inside this falling wedge. Have to close there, but it has a much better look on the RSI than Euro does, although Euro's due for a rally. And the yen is showing topping signs as well. I don't know if there's one more high. Talked about shorting it on the broadcast live stream yesterday at 37.60. I'm hoping there's one more push to one more new high on a strong CPI number, and I'm a seller if that happens. So, Mike, if you could take over the screen, you and I have a lot to talk to on the equity front. Let me just stop sharing here. And before we get going, what a great call you made in LABU. When no
yeah.
one wanted to touch biotechs, you were in an accumulation mode, and it was 100% move in what, 5 weeks?
Well, you know what? I was near the low, and by the way, let me just good morning, everyone, and here we are to TradeGate Hub as I usually. Well, first of all, this is a Monday, and before we start anything, of all the data that Coach Dale and I put out, I try to treat each day, as an individual day. If you like, some people are swing traders, some people are long-term traders, or macro holders, if you will. So the best way to handle this, including Monday, which if I repeat myself 1,000 times, is the most important. It's the most amount of data, but it's also all the data I put out is data that I use. I'm not here to just flood everything with with everybody. With less is better. With my point in my career, I think Coach would agree, is that it's about quality and not quantity. So my point being is always reverberate back to our red YouTube channel that the TradeView Markets team so graciously did, and we'll go now. We're really building a library or portfolio of videos. We're going back 4 months ago. Coach and I do these a couple of times a day. So with that being said, is always go back to that's key to get an idea of basically a track record of what we do. It's all down there. Nothing's deleted. It's once it's up there, you'll see. Not that we want to delete. We make mistakes too, but at least we make good mistakes.
And you're giving them a view of your narratives, which is shaped by, not only your experience, but some of the outside influences of people who are good, and pay attention to what they say when they tweet it.
No, absolutely. Like I said, it's one of the keys to longevity in this business is not having an ego. I certainly don't have an ego. When stocks like Microsoft trade 11 million shares a day, there's plenty to buy for everybody. So it's over 26 years, or almost even approaching 27. And I go within Dale's edification, and of course Tim. It's a compilation of data and I was trading at a high level. That's not arguing that from where my dossier and my background. It's what I compiled about what my peers do, and I try to make it, like I said, a less is better thing, and go through my Twitter feed. Just like I said, if you're going to go through and be on here with our, punch in the YouTube channel, go to my Twitter feed. Let me see if I'm sharing the screen correctly. Like I said, it's a theme here. It's all about quality instead of quantity. And here I am. I follow, what is it? 58 people, and I'm not alone either. These are high levels. Would you agree, Coach?
Yes.
And by the way, if one of these Twitter feeds or styles doesn't fit, if you don't, for example, like Sentiment Trader,
Yeah.
or example, you're not really into Mike, see also who he follows. You know what I mean? Maybe you'll get somebody else that it's like
Great
an offspring.
idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It preys upon itself. If birds of a feather flock together, and usually people want to be, just like TradeGATEHub. We want it to be a community. If they took away Twitter, I'd be somewhat lost. If we took away TradeGATEHub for some people, they'd be lost. And we certainly don't want that. But what I'm saying is, this being Tuesday, Monday is the most important data, and going forward, I don't really know what, tomorrow's the CPI number. Let me just post a couple of things here, Coach, if we want to look at what I'm looking at right now. And I'll jump right into our general introduction of what they do, and I'll go right to the data here. And anything in between, please do it your time. And any other questions, please answer. And one thing I definitely do is answer every question. All right, so TradeGATEHub going in this morning. That's my sign on. Good morning. Always go through the Twitter feed. I also put on what's happening now, and that's a CNBC gold prices. I mean, this is posted early in the morning. Piton, GOV, Walmart. So post a video. It's 2 minutes, and it'll also narrow down narrow down your focus to where you can get the business and get in there. So there's my macro view of the market. This is all the data I post. It's all consistent. It's almost even in chronological order, if you will, Coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everybody can get this down pat. So when it comes to 9:30, we can make it move as a futures break high. Giddy up. Anybody buy the Amazon with me? I don't think so. All right. Short-term sentiment, credit default.
Maybe Gerard did, because let me tell you something. From when he first started coming in here, Mike,
yeah,
to what he's doing now, he actually beat me to the punch in Aussie yesterday.
No.
Because he noticed the pattern. So, wow.
And I'm going to give you a pattern or reiterate another pattern. The one thing that I can guarantee, and in the finance business, if you use the G word, you go to jail, right? If you use a guarantee, is that you will not be short of ideas. We're all around it with Coach. We're setting the table for you. It's up for you to what style and how you want to trade.
We don't click anyone's mouse.
No, we're giving you high level opinions for high level ideas of a broad array of financial instruments. I predominantly stick to equities and a couple of options. If I had $1 for every time that I was asked to trade, currencies or FX, including the head of TradeView, I could retire, believe me, but I stay in my own lane. And by the way, I don't need to. We have Coach here to complement each other. And by the way, Coach, great call on the FCX yesterday. You saved me. You saved me 80 cents. I actually bought it now a little bit on the dip.
Okay, yeah, new low without confirmation. Copper retesting a low from last week. That trade kind of gives me a positive bias. I'm a little conflicted on the S&Ps, and especially the Russell looks like there could be one more low. But as long as we hold that, and that's what I'm here to do, is ask you for your levels going into this big number. Where are the major levels? I know that last week's lows and the prior week's lows held a 61.8 level before the advance of 3,900. I'm wondering what you're thinking at as far as support resistance going into tomorrow.
All right. Well, there is resistance. Resistance, and I'm saying this. Obviously an exaggeration. The downside, I think, is more limited than the upside.
Okay.
And this is why I think. This is just why I think. Now, I'm not saying to play this basic binary move. If you would just sign Harney here now and just say that whatever the market is and let me start firing away. Because first of all, let me just give anybody who wants to gamble or trade into number. There's one thing I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to lose. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if it's going to go against you, it's going to go way against you more than if it goes with you. You're probably going to leave the majority of the meat of the trade on the table on the upside because you're so happy that you picked the right side that you're going to sell and be so giddy that you're probably going to miss the upside, right? You know what I mean, Coach?
Yeah.
And if it goes against you, you're going to have to trade like a wizard and be even more right, if you will, going against that trend off the bottom just to probably break even. And believe me, I'm a wizard at that. If they started me down 100,000 every day, I'd make money for the day. But if you started me flat on those very same positions, I'd probably make 50 or 60. I'm not going to
There's
lie.
two things that traders should not do, Mike. And you know what they are? I know everyone's just say, well, don't trade without a stop, but this is what's in our heads. Traders should not do cartwheels and should not go field, depending upon the outcome of a trade.
And you know what? I appreciate that. And at this level in my career, I know what to do. I've been looking predominantly at the same universe for a quarter century. Maybe Target replaces, Walmart or whatever every now and then. But what I derive now is I do derive it from sentiment. I'm not going to lie. Because, with this span in history, if you will, just making a brief point here, and if once again use this dollar term, if I had a dollar for every time people have said that they've learned more in the past 2 years, myself included, than the past decade, we could all retire. And I don't mean to keep overusing this term. I'm just want to emphasize about the dramatic moves of the dollar with the parity. When was the last time that happened, Coach?
Long time ago.
Okay.
And then you brought up yesterday during your stream that I didn't even know about, because I'm, right now the wrong way, that there was a biggest panic in miners in 39 years.
That's correct. From where it came from. And by the way, these are accredited, this is solid information. I'm not,
Yeah.
First of all, I don't exaggerate because we're in a very specific numbers game. I don't exaggerate at all. I don't know why, but that's what's happening. Now, let me go back to here about how I look going forward with the sentiment. And it doesn't mean I'm going to play it. It means where I'm leaning. Wall Street is busy getting pessimistic. Wall Street analysts, so you can correlate the charts to pessimism. But let me even go to yesterday, which again, as I said, which was Monday, the most important data. Now, these are tools that I use. It's not guaranteed, obviously, or else I wouldn't be doing it. Okay. This is hedge fund exposure going back into how many years? 1 to 7 years. Okay. You can correlate hedge fund exposure. They're basically not even, they're basically underwater, basically short.
They're short.
Okay, so hedge funds are short. Okay, let's keep that aside. Let's keep the fact that Goldman has been less allocated since they have, let's go back 3-4 months. It says something. They took money off the table.
Okay.
Let's go to right here. Well, let's gold futures position. Let me go to something else. I posted a lot of this data. This might even go back today. But you know what? It went back to, let me bear with me because it's important. This macro chart situation. Okay. Here we are here. July 9th. Record shorts. Wow. Record shorts. And this is a hell of a, this is going back to 2000s. Wow. So hold on. It's a tool. Yeah. Now, this is derived. All these indicators are going to be derived on how I come up with my number, get up or down. It's not a science, obviously. Okay. So that's where we are. Equities and hedge funds are record short. Goldman has a ton of cash on the sidelines. Everybody is completely pessimistic. And all the estimates are for the S&P are anywhere between what, Coach? 3,600 and 3,200? Maybe
yeah, so that's the thing. Is the market going to make it convenient for everyone flat or short to have one more break to take out the recent lows to get out and get long?
My opinion is I'm not going to listen. I'm going to treat it like a Fed day.
Right.
It's going to be the reason why everybody's looking for this number within the history is
the White House came out, Mike, yesterday and said expect a hot number.
8.8. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you. So
they're setting the table, trying to prep the market for a bad number.
Well, they're saying buy the rumor, sell the news.
Maybe.
But I'm not playing it yet. Hold on.
Okay.
So let's go to. Hold on. Okay. So then again, what do we have going with us? With that it could go the other way. And let me go to the SPY chart, if you will. All right. Listen, I don't think this one-time number is going to end inflation. I don't believe so. No. If the market, for my opinion, going back from when we started these heavy conversations, maybe in May, I was looking at the real pros who have been somewhat right so far, believe that things may end in September, October. Okay. So pardon me. Here we are in July, in the middle of July, going into a big number on a Wednesday CPI. And here we are with the SPYs. So if we make the new low on the SPYs, like everybody thinks we are, what does that bring us down to, Coach? Like right here?
Yeah, that's what everyone's looking for.
All right,
the COVID, the high before COVID. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you play? Do you believe that? So if everybody is right and you're going to risk 10% is 38. So it's 350. All right. So you have another 10% to 12% down. And if they're wrong, I think the market chops a little bit and everybody realizes that inflation's not going to be that bad if this number cooperates. And I believe it's going to be a precipitous move up.
To 41, 4,200, where those moving averages are coming
Absolutely. Right
in?
here.
Okay. You know, that's where technicians are going to start to consternate about the whether the correction's over or not. Closes back over 41, 4,200 are going to begin to squeeze shorts big time for maybe a move to new highs.
Well, I'll tell you something else.
A la David Hunter.
Okay, here's the VIX. The VIX is sitting here. The VIX goes on any lower and the market stabilizes. Fund managers have to put money to work. People say, all right, there's not a lot of volatility, even though it might seem like underneath. Things have settled down. The worst is over. The Fed came out it. The VIX is so low, you got to put money. You have to put money to work. Now, it's yet to be determined if they're going to try to bottom fish FCX or X on here, or if they're going to play the chart on Apple. Let's look at Apple, which, by the way, is showing tremendous relative strength on the daily.
Yeah.
As opposed to, let's look at even MU. Okay, so if the number's bad, does MU make a new low? I think the new lows are in on MU. Does Google make a new low if the
No, that's two drives on MU.
MU looks good, right?
Two drives, you know, if you're like me and you believe in threes, there'd be one more shot to new lows that I'd buy the hell out of it.
Well, okay. And then if that happens, it's the reason why I brought it up. Because if that does happen, it's on my list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that, you know, that may make a new low, but I sure don't think LABU is going to make a new low. You'd be lucky to be able to buy it halfway back, wouldn't you?
Well, the XPI, as I said, I started nibbling at it today. It was actually right for the moment.
No, I don't think that's going to make a new low. That's a break to buy.
No, and that's a break to buy probably in the 74 to 76 range, and I'm going to do it. And I won't, you know what? That's a trade I won't look back. Because that was my second half trade. It doesn't mean that it just, I happen to be honed in on the trade. Stocks like CRISPR, I like long still, Nutella.
Yeah.
And those are part of them. Let's look at the XPI.
You were long those 3 weeks ago.
Here's FAST. Here's Goldman.
Maybe.
Twitter, first day up. MU, AMD, we're in it. I mean, his Meta, his Square. Coach, let's look at
put up Freeport. You went into it today.
I am, and I'm in from 2635 fact.
Okay. You know, see the last little thing on the RSI down there is at 30 at new lows.
Yeah,
it's a good shot.
Well, this is
I mean, it's going to have trouble at you know, a rally to 31 to 33. I'd trade it.
No, I'm not. Like I said, here, Earl, here's my thing. I'm small. I'll show you my screen. I have it small.
Hey, Mike, just out of curiosity, you know, we're more than halfway through the year. What's your ROE?
I'm almost positive at this point.
You know how many people would wish they could say that?
I mean, listen,
going through one of the worst 6-month periods in market history.
Yeah, well, you know what? Well, like I said, look at Delta. That was showing relative strength, right, Lewis? Well, I'll tell you, like I said in a couple of interviews, you know, I've been through a lot, you know, to the dot-com bubble, the financial crisis with, you know, 2000 and you know, 20. And I felt like this, that I got through all of them profitable. I actually felt like this time was my defining moment. Every big bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, okay. So I made money back then and back then and back then. And you know, when there's a time of things of uncertainty, that's where pros usually, you know, and this has been over 6 months, half my biggest, you know, my P&L looks like Joe Biden's polygraph test. I'm not.
Yeah, and you didn't do that going to cash. You traded your way out of it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, so you know,
I'll have the numbers. I always show the numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Nice. Appreciate you doing that, Mike. And
oh, here's my FCX. So I'm in it for what? 2643. It's 2690. I only have a little bit. So let's look at what when I enter it. Why did I buy it? I went from what, 2690? Oh, FCX. Hold on. I'm just showing you my plan. It might not work. I started buying it 26. Where am I? 2643. I bought it. I started buying it right here at this gap from yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I added to a little bit. Now it's at the gap from yesterday, 26.90. That's a minute chart. Let me
Yeah.
go to 15 minutes. Maybe it
Yeah.
goes to 27.5. You know,
Shaping
27.5, I'll be okay for a little lunch money. You know what I mean?
That's with copper's still down today.
Yeah, maybe it goes to
Okay.
the 8-day with a little pressure. So I take
Yeah.
it off. I feel like I'm hedged to a degree, so I'll let it go.
Okay. Anything interest sensitive that you would avoid or look at, especially with what's happening? You know, 10-year yield has come down pretty good. And we popped a little bit back to 3%, but I'm thinking that you probably have to maybe look for one more high in yields. I think
No,
that'd be a
listen,
problem.
I would like that. Don't get me wrong.
You'd like new highs in yields over
Well, that would be a
350?
dream scenario. That would maybe the buy the rumor, sell the news would really come to fruition and shake a lot of people out and be healthy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, I'm hearing the public has not liquidated.
I know I have to.
Right.
I
So,
have to.
you know, maybe we need that one more cleanse. Anything you want to share with our people before?
Well, a couple of news items came out today. AAL had news and raised guidance a little slightly. There's I don't know if I'm on the right. There's the chart. I mean, obviously, crude prices coming down and everything has
Yeah,
helped a
big
little
hit
bit.
crude.
As
Yeah.
everybody knows, if you've been watching, go back to the reg. There have been Southwest huge call bombs going off. And by the way, after all this trepidation in the market, if you stuck the way those calls went up at LUV, you'd be up in the stock. And I'm still in it, and I like it. Fast, look at Citi. You know what I mean? Listen, the key is it's Apple today up 3 versus Microsoft, which at one time is down 7. That, you know, that's, by the way, is why the Qs are only up 10 cents. Hold on. So here's Microsoft, which is down 7 as we speak, and Apple's up 3. So leaning one way or the other is going to show you.
Yeah, the market's kind of in a neutral position right here, Mike. That's why it's hard to make a big call about CPI. It's almost like it can go either way here.
Somebody, a good trader of mine, told me to buy 3M today. They actually looked at it to a degree, just as amazing. You know what I mean? It's not the sexiest. It's not a barn burner. And then I started looking. I said, I said, what about Dupont? But no, that's highly leveraged for the dollar, as we all know. It's international. But you know what? I'm looking for Dupont for ideas. That should even tell you something on the whole, but it also should tell you something how I'm looking at a rotation. So I'll leave it at that, I guess. You know, if you didn't do anything now at 11:30 into tomorrow's number, either go all in and take the risk and walk away, or don't do anything at all, because then would be egregious behavior. You know what I mean? Do one or the other.
Yeah. All right. So no pussyfooting around with Michael Venezia, I'll tell you that. So anyway, bro, thanks so much for your time today. Great to catch up with you. And you didn't show the LABU chart. I want to look at it before we say goodbye. Because
you know what,
blow it up a little bit.
It does its injustice. But the bottom line is it had the double bottom. And when it double bottom and the volume started coming in, everybody was watching. By the way, it was the same as the XBI.
Yeah.
Double bottom.
That looks good.
The day when it double bottom
was
the day it had the volume. So that was when, if you were going to take a stance, you took a stance there.
Great trading, Michael. My trading warrior brother.
No. Cheers. Listen, what I'm going to reiterate here, you're not going to be short of ideas. We're all around it. We'll always have an answer, a good one, for either a loss or a good or a bad trade. But like I said, the least of your concerns will be stock selection or ideas.
TradeGATEHub should be your trading club.
Yeah.
And I'll wrap it with that, buddy.
Giddy up. Have a good day, everyone. I'll be